G'day guys, Chris from Black Flag Barbell Club. Today we are going to talk about setting a neutral back for the deadlift. Just basically want to go over setting your back at both ends. I see a lot of people either set one end or the other in terms of their thoracic or their lumbar. We all know that deadlifting with a round back is less than ideal for most people, but let's get into it. So neutral spine is going to be just a neutral spine. Yeah, so we're not extended, we're not flexed, we're neutral. Yeah, for most people this is going to be the safest, strongest way to deadlift or squat. If you see people lifting with a rounded upper back deadlift or even like a really round deadlift, there are some very strong people who lift that way. In terms of what we coach here, we're looking for what is going to keep people safe and have them training for a long time, ideally the rest of their life. And for most people, that is going to be a neutral spine. Yeah. If you are one of those people who just can't seem to manage it, like you just can't get all the way neutral or flat or straight, as long as your position doesn't change, so if you set a slightly rounded upper back and the whole lift is done with a slightly rounded upper back, it doesn't change flexion or extension under load, then you're probably pretty safe. It's usually the changing of position under load that will get you injured. So if you start with a neutral spine and then you end up flexing into a heavy deadlift, bad time. Don't do it. Should probably take the weight down. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into setting that neutral spine from both ends. Alright, so we're going to try and learn how to set your back to neutral from both ends. And both ends is very important. If you only set one, then the other half is not set. Yeah? So what do I mean from both ends? I mean we can impact the shape. Yeah, shape's a good word. We can impact the shape, like how our spine is positioned. Position's a better word, let's go with position. We can influence the position of our spine from the hip and pelvis end or from the thoracic end. Yeah? So if I have someone who has trouble getting a straight back, a neutral spine when they're setting up for the position, then usually we can sort of look into which end are they not setting. Yeah, most people understand this one, yeah, in terms of setting up here. So they might be setting up in a round position and I will say straighten your back or brace into a neutral spine, whatever it is, and they'll do this. And that's great, but it still leaves down here. So what I need to get people to understand is that, okay, you've set one half, now we need to set the other half. You've got to do both same time. Yeah. So the usual way that I will describe setting this to someone who has trouble with it is that if you were a person at the club who was not well endowed in the booty region, or let's say you were of the Instagram influencer variety and you wanted to really pop the booty, then you would do a little bit of this pelvic tilt. Yeah? Now I don't want you to lift with a tilted pelvis, but if you're in a position down here where you are struggling because this is tucked in and you are round, then I do want you to kind of extend into a straight neutral position. So if I was down here, I tell them, they're in this round position, and I say straighten your back, and they go from this end, yeah? And then I say pop the booty, and we go from this end, and suddenly we're getting somewhere. Yeah? So understanding both ends is very important. You might have the opposite problem where you're straight down here and you really need to cue them to get into the upper position, and that would be a different cue. Yeah? Some people you need to tap them in the middle of their back and just be like here, and they'll do it. Some people will tell, I want to be able to read your shirt. If you've got a sick logo from Calgary Barbell on your shirt, I want to be able to see it if I was coaching in front of you. Yeah? So I can't have you down here. I want to be able to see that logo. So open it up, and give people that vision. Some people you just need to teach them to turn on their lats. That's a whole different discussion in terms of, there's so many cues, pretend someone's trying to tickle you, you don't want them to. Whatever it is, bend the bar through you. Lots of ways to activate the lats. But understanding that both ends play a part in obtaining that neutral spine so that we're not lifting from a round position. We want to get into that nice neutral position to lift the bar. Yeah? So hopefully this helps. If you do this or your clients do this, try and take a look at it from that perspective. Maybe there's an end of their spine that they're not really getting into. And yeah, if you've got any questions, hit us up, info@blackflagbarbell.com.au. We're on Facebook, Black Flag Barbell Club, Instagram, Black Flag Barbell. Yeah? Anything you want to know in a future video, let us know. Peace.
Yeah, motherfuckers better know.